Imagine waking up one morning, looking in the mirror, and realizing that the part of you that once defined your strength, your confidence, your vitality, has quietly faded. The passion is there, but your body no longer responds the way it used to. Most men over 60 believe this is simply aging. But that's the lie I want to destroy today. Because the truth is, your manhood isn't gone. It's just been neglected. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you how to bring it back to life, naturally. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, a urologist and men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping men regain their confidence, energy, and intimate vitality. I've worked with thousands of men, many who thought their best years were behind them. And I've seen incredible transformation when they start treating their intimate health with the same care they give the rest of their body. Here's what most men don't realize. The solution isn't another blue pill or medical procedure. The secret lies in a simple, 5-minute act you can perform at home, with your own hands, that reawakens blood flow, restores sensitivity, and brings back that unmistakable spark of youth. In this video, I'll reveal a 5-minute penile massage ritual, approved by urologists, that strengthens your blood vessels, boosts nitric oxide, and revives your performance naturally. It's safe, powerful, and easy. And for many men, it's life-changing. And if you stay until the end, I'll share the exact natural oil combination my own patients use, a blend so effective it can make you feel 18 again, even at 70. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to hit that button and turn on the bell icon, so you never miss another men's health tip designed specifically for you. And if you find this message helpful, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're taking control of your vitality again. If not, type 0 and tell me what kind of topics you'd like me to cover next. Your feedback truly shapes these videos. Now, let's talk about the real reason so many men lose their vitality after 50. It's not just age, and it's not a lack of desire. The truth runs much deeper. Inside your blood vessels, your nerves, and the chemical signals that control your body's ability to feel alive again. 1. The real reason. Men lose their vitality after 50. For most men, the slow loss of vitality doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in quietly. A little less energy in the mornings, a little less drive in the evenings, and eventually, a growing frustration that the body doesn't respond the way it once did. Many men in their 50s, 60s, even 70s sit in my office with the same worried look, asking me, "Doc, what happened? Why can't I perform like I used to?" And every time, I give them the same answer: your body isn't broken. It's just forgotten how to communicate. You see, an erection isn't just a physical reaction. It's an incredible orchestra of signals between your brain, your nerves, and your blood vessels. In a healthy man, that communication is instant and precise. Your brain sends the command, nitric oxide is released, blood vessels relax, and blood fills the chambers of the penis, creating a strong, natural response. But as we age, that communication begins to fade. The wires are still there, but the signal becomes weak. Years of stress, poor sleep, a sedentary lifestyle, and processed foods all chip away at the delicate lining of your blood vessels. That lining, called the endothelium, is what produces nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your arteries to open and let blood flow freely. When that layer becomes damaged, the flow weakens. Think of it like static on an old radio. The message is still there, but it no longer comes through clearly. The result is a body that still wants to respond, but no longer can do it efficiently. And here's the part that most men never hear from their doctors. This decline isn't inevitable. It's not just age, it's reversible. Your body can relearn how to send that signal, rebuild nitric oxide production, and restore the natural rhythm of blood flow, if you give it the right stimulus. I've seen men who thought they were finished, who felt ashamed and disconnected, regain their confidence and function by simply improving the health of their blood vessels. When you start restoring that communication, something powerful happens. You don't just feel more alive physically, your energy, your mood, and even your sense of self begin to shift. The light returns to your eyes. You stand taller. You feel younger, not because of a miracle drug, but because your body is finally working with you again, not against you. And this is where things get truly fascinating, because while most men turn to pills to force a temporary response, there's a far more natural, lasting way to reactivate that system from within. It requires no prescription, no embarrassment, and no side effects. Only your hands, your focus, and 5 minutes of your time. Let's talk about why this simple ritual works better than any pill you've ever taken. 2. Why massage works better than pills. Over the years, I've seen men walk into my office clutching a handful of pill bottles, hoping that one of them would bring back what time had taken away. They tell me, "Doc, I just need something to help me feel normal again." And while those pills can offer a quick fix, they never tell you the truth. They don't heal you. They only force your body to perform for a few fleeting hours. And when the effects wear off, you're left even more dependent and disconnected than before. What I want for every man is not a temporary spark, but a long-lasting flame that comes from within. When I first began studying the effects of touch and circulation on male performance, I realized something remarkable. The body already has everything it needs to recover. It's just waiting for a signal to wake up. A simple, intentional massage does exactly that. It's not about arousal, it's about restoration. It's a direct message to your blood vessels and nerves saying, it's time to come alive again. Every stroke, every gentle pressure encourages the arteries to relax, the blood to flow, and the tissues to become more responsive. Unlike a pill, which overrides your body's natural rhythm, massage retrains it to function the way it was meant to. When you use your hands with care and attention, you are doing something far more profound than most men realize. You're creating a physical dialogue with your own body. A reminder that your health is still in your control. The rhythmic pressure boosts nitric oxide production, which expands your blood vessels naturally, allowing oxygen and nutrients to reach the areas that need them most. Over time, this builds elasticity in the vessel walls, strengthening them the way exercise strengthens muscle. But there's another hidden benefit that no prescription can provide: connection. When you perform this ritual, you lower your stress hormones, calm your nervous system, and release natural chemicals like oxytocin that promote relaxation and confidence. It's a kind of meditation, a moment of quiet reconnection between your body and mind. I've had men tell me that after just a week of practice, they not only noticed physical changes, but also slept better, felt calmer, and woke up feeling lighter and more in tune with themselves. That's the beauty of this approach. It's not about forcing a reaction, but rebuilding the foundation of your vitality. Pills can give you a moment, but this gives you back your power. And if you're wondering what makes this simple act so effective on a cellular level, the answer lies in a molecule that is both your body's greatest ally and its most overlooked secret. Let's explore the science behind blood flow and nitric oxide, and why this tiny molecule might be the key to feeling young again. 3. The science of blood flow and nitric oxide. When I talk to my patients about what truly controls male performance, I often see their eyes widen when I mention 3 simple words: nitric oxide production. Most men have never even heard of it, yet it is the very foundation of every natural erection, every feeling of vitality, and every surge of energy that makes a man feel alive. Nitric oxide is the silent messenger that tells your blood vessels to relax, open, and allow a healthy flow of blood into your most sensitive tissues. Without it, even the strongest desire cannot translate into physical response. But here's the good news. Your body is still capable of producing it. It just needs to be reminded how. You see, inside your arteries are delicate cells called the endothelium. These cells are like the conductors of your circulatory orchestra. When they're healthy, they release nitric oxide in perfect rhythm, keeping your blood vessels flexible and responsive. But years of stress, high blood sugar, processed foods, and a lack of physical activity cause microscopic damage to those cells. The once smooth inner surface of your arteries becomes rough and inflamed, and that steady release of nitric oxide slows to a whisper. When that happens, blood doesn't move the way it should. The result isn't just erectile issues. It's fatigue, poor recovery, even early signs of cardiovascular decline. What makes this so powerful to understand is that it means your struggle is not about aging, it's about blood flow. When you perform the 5-minute massage ritual, you're not just rubbing the surface, you're waking up those endothelial cells. The gentle stretching and movement increase oxygen exchange, stimulate nitric oxide release, and retrain your vessels to expand naturally. It's like taking a garden hose that's been twisted for years and slowly unkinking it until water can flow freely again. This renewed flow nourishes your tissues, restores warmth, and brings back that unmistakable vitality that every man remembers from his younger years. I've seen men who thought their bodies were beyond repair experience incredible transformations once they restored this biological rhythm. Their energy returned, their confidence surged, and their morning vitality, the ultimate sign of health, came back stronger than it had in years. It's one of the most rewarding moments I witness as a doctor, seeing a man rediscover that spark of life through his own effort and consistency. But while the science of blood flow explains how this works, there's another crucial element that determines how well it works. And it's something most men overlook. It's the oil you choose. The right oil can turn this ritual into a deeply nourishing act of repair. So let's talk about the natural oils that not only protect your skin, but also feed your body from the outside in. 4. The power of the right oil. Over the years, one of the most common mistakes I've seen men make when trying to care for their intimate health is overlooking something so simple, yet so vital: the oil. Many believe that any lubricant will do, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The skin in your most sensitive area is unlike any other part of your body. It's thin, absorbent, and directly connected to your circulatory system. Whatever you apply there doesn't just sit on the surface. It penetrates. It enters your bloodstream. And that means the oil you choose can either nourish your tissue or slowly harm it. When I was in medical school, I used to think oils were merely for comfort or moisture. But after decades of working with patients and studying natural healing, I realized that the right oil can act like medicine. It can reduce inflammation, repair cellular damage, and enhance circulation at a micro level. It turns a simple massage into something truly therapeutic. That's why I always tell my patients, choose natural oils rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and fatty acids. The building blocks of healthy cells. Castor oil, for example, has been used for generations because of its deep, penetrating nature. It's thick, grounding, and contains ricinoleic acid, a compound known to reduce inflammation and encourage healing. When massaged gently, it helps loosen stiff tissue and encourages detoxification through improved lymphatic flow. Jojoba oil, on the other hand, is light and clean, almost identical to the natural oils your body produces. It absorbs quickly and provides vitamins E and B, which are essential for skin repair and elasticity. Coconut oil is another favorite of mine, pure, soothing, and antimicrobial. It glides smoothly and nourishes the skin while protecting it from irritation. And finally, vitamin E oil, the secret weapon, a concentrated antioxidant that directly supports cellular repair, improves elasticity, and enhances overall blood flow. I often recommend a blend that combines the best of each: 2 parts jojoba oil, 1 part castor oil, and a few drops of vitamin E. Warm it between your palms before use, and as you do, think of it not just as a mixture of oils, but as fuel for your body's renewal, because that's exactly what it is. When you apply this blend with gentle intention, it's more than physical care. It's a form of respect for your body, a quiet acknowledgement that it still deserves to be nurtured, even after 60 or 70 years of hard work. And once you have this powerful oil ready, it's time to learn how to use it the right way. Through a 5-minute ritual that not only restores circulation, but rebuilds the confidence and vitality you thought you'd lost forever. Let's walk through this simple yet transformative massage step by step. 5. The step-by-step 5-minute massage. Now that you understand how powerful the right oil can be, let's turn this knowledge into action. I've taught this 5-minute ritual to hundreds of men, and the transformation it brings, physically and emotionally, still amazes me every single time. Think of this not as a routine, but as a moment of connection. It's a quiet promise you make to your body. I'm still here, and I still care. The goal isn't speed or intensity, it's presence, awareness, and gentle consistency. Start by preparing your space. Choose a time when you won't be rushed or distracted, ideally at night before bed when your body is relaxed. Wash your hands and make sure the area is clean. Pour a small amount of your chosen oil into your palm and take a few seconds to warm it by rubbing your hands together. As you do, breathe deeply. Inhale calm, exhale tension. Feel the warmth in your palms. That warmth is the beginning of circulation waking up. Begin the massage with slow, gentle strokes from the base of the penis toward the tip. Use your whole hand, not your fingertips. The goal here isn't stimulation, it's activation. You're encouraging blood to move, preparing the vessels to open. Continue this for about a minute, letting the tissue grow warm and responsive. Next, form a loose O shape with your thumb and index finger at the base. Apply light pressure and glide upward in a smooth motion, then release at the tip. This movement helps direct blood into the erectile chambers and stimulates nitric oxide production. Keep your rhythm slow, steady, and mindful. You're not forcing anything, you're guiding your body back to balance. Finally, shift your attention to the root, the area where your penis meets the pubic bone. This spot is often ignored but holds deep tension that can restrict blood flow. Use your fingertips to make small, circular motions, gently massaging the area for about a minute. You may notice warmth spreading through your lower abdomen. That's your blood vessels expanding and circulation improving. When you finish, rest your hand there for a moment. Feel the gentle pulse beneath your skin, the quiet strength that's always been there, waiting to be awakened. This entire process takes no more than 5 minutes, but what it gives back to you is immeasurable. Relaxation, confidence, and a sense of vitality that can change the way you start and end your day. And while this ritual repairs the body, it also does something unexpected to the mind and spirit. In fact, what happens inside you emotionally may be even more powerful than the physical results. Let's explore that next. 6. The emotional power of this ritual. There's something deeply personal about this 5-minute ritual that most men don't expect. They begin it thinking it's only about improving blood flow or physical function, but what they often discover is something much more profound. This simple act becomes a moment of reconnection, not just with your body, but with the part of yourself that you might have neglected for years. I've had patients tell me that the first few times they performed this massage, they were surprised by how emotional it felt. Not because it was sexual, but because it reminded them that they were still capable of feeling alive, still capable of caring for themselves. For decades, many men are taught to push through pain, to ignore discomfort, to provide and protect, but rarely to pause and listen to their own bodies. As a result, they become strangers to themselves. This ritual changes that. When you take those 5 quiet minutes every night, you're doing more than stimulating circulation. You're healing the relationship between your mind and body. The slow, intentional movement calms the nervous system, lowers cortisol, and triggers the release of oxytocin, the hormone of trust and connection. That's why many men report not only physical improvement, but also a sense of peace they haven't felt in years. I remember one of my older patients, a retired firefighter, telling me with tears in his eyes that after just 2 weeks, it wasn't the return of his morning erections that moved him most. It was the sense of calm he carried through his day. He said, "For the first time in years, Doc, I don't feel broken. I feel balanced." That's the real gift of this practice. It teaches your body that it's safe again, that it's allowed to feel, to relax, and to perform when it's ready. It reminds your brain that you're not at war with your body. You're on the same team. And what happens next is truly transformative. As your body begins to respond with strength and consistency, that newfound calm grows into confidence. You walk differently, you speak differently, and your partner feels the shift even before you say a word. It's not just performance, it's presence. This quiet self-care rewires how you see yourself, and that changes everything about how you connect with others. But even more powerful than the emotional transformation is the fact that science now backs it up. that doctors like myself are beginning to recommend this exact approach for long-term male health. And in the next section, I'll explain why so many urologists now support this practice, and how it's quickly becoming one of the most trusted natural tools for men's vitality. 7. Why urologists approve this ritual. When I first began introducing this 5-minute massage to my patients, some of my colleagues raised their eyebrows. They were so used to the conventional approach, prescriptions, pumps, or procedures, that they couldn't imagine something so simple being effective. But over time, as they began to see the results in their own patients, the conversation started to change. Today, more and more urologists are quietly acknowledging what I've seen for years. This ritual works because it supports the body's natural healing systems, rather than trying to override them. It's not a gimmick or an internet trend. It's grounded in anatomy, physiology, and decades of clinical observation. Here's what we know. Regular massage increases microcirculation, stimulates nitric oxide release, and helps maintain vascular elasticity. 3 things that are absolutely essential for strong, consistent erections. It also reduces inflammation in the surrounding tissue, improves lymphatic drainage, and lowers stress hormones like cortisol that often interfere with sexual function. Unlike medication, which forces a short-term response, this method retrains your body to respond naturally. It rebuilds your foundation from the inside out. That's why so many of my peers, even those who used to be skeptical, now recommend this technique as part of a holistic men's health plan. But beyond the science, what truly makes this ritual doctor-approved is its safety and sustainability. It's non-invasive, drug-free, and completely within your control. You don't need to depend on refills, devices, or appointments. You just need consistency. 5 minutes a day, every day, is enough to create long-term change. I've seen men in their 70s and even 80s regain vitality, not because of what I did for them, but because they committed to this simple daily act. They reclaimed ownership of their health, their masculinity, and their confidence. That's the power of a ritual that respects your biology instead of fighting it. When you think about it, this is what true medicine should look like: empowering, not dependent. It should give you the tools to restore balance rather than just mask symptoms. And as a doctor, there is nothing more rewarding than watching a man rediscover that spark of life on his own terms. Because once that happens, he's not just healthier, he's free. Now that you understand why this ritual has earned the trust of urologists around the world, let's bring everything together. In the final part, I'll show you how to make this a permanent part of your nightly routine. A simple, sacred habit that can keep you strong, confident, and vibrant for the rest of your life. 8. Making it a nightly ritual for lifelong vitality. When it comes to long-term health, the secret isn't intensity, it's consistency. I've told countless patients over the years that lasting transformation doesn't happen in a doctor's office or a clinic. It happens in quiet, private moments when you decide to care for yourself. This 5-minute massage is one of those moments. The men who see the most dramatic results aren't the ones who do it perfectly, but the ones who make it a part of their nightly rhythm. They treat it like brushing their teeth. Anything non-negotiable, a small act of respect for their body before rest. You don't need to wait for motivation. You just need to begin. Choose the same time each night, right before bed, when your mind is calm and your body is ready to unwind. Dim the lights, warm the oil in your hands, and let your focus turn inward. The world outside fades away. No distractions, no worries, just you and your body. Those 5 minutes become a time of deep connection. The slow, deliberate motion of your hands stimulates circulation, yes, but it also sends a message to your nervous system. You are safe, you are healing, and you are alive. Over days and weeks, this repetition builds strength, elasticity, and confidence. It reprograms your body to expect vitality instead of fatigue, flow instead of stagnation. I often tell my patients that this nightly ritual is like watering a plant. The first few days, you might not notice much, but give it time, and soon you'll see subtle signs of renewal, deeper sleep, better energy, and those unmistakable morning signals that your body is reawakening. Within 2 to 3 weeks, many men begin to feel a steady improvement in their stamina and emotional balance. And what's even more remarkable is that this calm confidence carries into every part of life: your work, your relationships, your mood. You begin to stand taller, breathe deeper, and move with the quiet assurance of a man who knows his body is working with him again. And here's something I've noticed through years of practice. Men who make this 5-minute ritual a part of their lifestyle don't just age better, they live better. Their blood pressure stabilizes, their stress levels drop, and they carry a glow that no pill can create. That's what lifelong vitality truly means. Not perfection, but presence. Because in the end, this isn't just about the body. It's about what happens when a man takes back control of his health, his confidence, and his sense of purpose. And in the final part, I'll share a message that every man over 60 needs to hear: the truth about aging, masculinity, and why it's never too late to feel like yourself again. 9. The truth about aging and masculinity. One of the most painful lies men are told as they grow older is that decline is inevitable, that the best years of their strength, vitality, and passion are behind them. I've heard it in my office countless times. A man sits across from me, shoulders heavy, voice quiet, saying, "Doc, I guess this is just part of getting old." But I always look him straight in the eye and tell him the truth. Aging doesn't steal your masculinity. Neglect does. What truly fades isn't your biology. It's your belief in your body's ability to recover, to adapt, to come alive again. And that belief can be rebuilt, one small act at a time. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s rediscover a level of vitality they thought was gone forever, not through surgery or medication, but through consistency, patience, and self-respect. The 5-minute ritual you've learned isn't just about circulation, it's about rewriting the story you've been told about aging. Every time you take those few minutes for yourself, you're telling your body, "I still need you. I still trust you." And that message matters more than any pill, because your body listens, it remembers, it responds. As we age, testosterone may decline and recovery may slow, but the male body is remarkably resilient when given the right support. Proper sleep, movement, nutrition, and self-care all signal your system to stay alive, to keep producing nitric oxide, to keep blood vessels flexible, and to maintain muscle tone. But beyond the science lies something deeper: dignity. Masculinity isn't defined by age or performance, it's defined by how a man shows up for himself. And the truth is, there is incredible strength in vulnerability. In acknowledging where you are, taking ownership, and deciding that you still have more life to live. I often remind my patients that real masculinity isn't about dominance or denial. It's about presence, awareness, and connection. It's about knowing your worth, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. And when a man reclaims his health, he naturally reclaims his confidence. He stands taller, breathes easier, and walks with the quiet pride of someone who has come home to himself. That is what this journey is all about. Not reversing time, but restoring truth. And now, as we reach the final message, I want to share something that ties everything together. The one shift in mindset that turns this ritual from a daily habit into a lifelong legacy of strength, confidence, and purpose. Because when you understand this last piece, you'll never look at your body or your age the same way again. 10. Turning the ritual into a legacy of strength and confidence. At this point, you've learned how a simple 5-minute ritual can awaken your body, restore circulation, and bring back the vitality you thought was gone. But now I want to take you one step further, beyond the physical, beyond the science, into what this truly means for your life as a man. Because when you commit to this practice, you're not just improving your health, you're building a legacy of strength, of confidence, and of self-respect that speaks louder than words. Every time you perform this ritual, you're sending a powerful message, not just to your body, but to your mind and spirit. You're saying, "I am not giving up. I am still here." That quiet determination begins to shape the way you move through the world. It changes the way you speak to your partner, the way you look at yourself in the mirror, the way you wake up each morning with a renewed sense of energy and purpose. I've seen men go from feeling defeated and disconnected to walking with the calm assurance of someone who knows he's taken control of his destiny. That transformation doesn't come from a clinic or a bottle. It comes from within. The truth is, this 5-minute ritual is far more than a health tip. It's a daily act of discipline and self-compassion, two things that define the strongest men I know. You're teaching your body consistency, your heart patience, and your mind gratitude. And as the weeks turn into months, those small acts begin to compound. The improved blood flow becomes stamina. The nightly calm becomes better sleep. The confidence becomes connection. Before long, you start realizing that what you've gained isn't just physical, it's emotional and spiritual balance. That's the legacy every man deserves to leave behind. I've worked with men who started this journey simply wanting to fix a problem, but they ended up discovering something much bigger, a deeper sense of self. One of my oldest patients once told me, "Doc, I started this just hoping to feel like a man again, but now I feel like myself again." That's the power of commitment. That's the gift of consistency, and that's what I want for you. Because this ritual, simple as it may seem, has the power to reshape your future, to make every year ahead stronger, more confident, and more alive than the one before. And as we move into the conclusion, I want to leave you with one final message, a truth that can redefine how you see aging, masculinity, and what it really means to live fully as a man over 60. Conclusion: reclaiming your vitality, one night at a time. When I think back over the years, the countless conversations I've had with men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, there's one truth that stands out above all else. Vitality isn't lost with age. It's lost when you stop believing you can feel alive again. And what this 5-minute ritual represents is not just a technique, but a decision to take back control, to honor your body, and to remind yourself that strength, energy, and confidence are not privileges of youth. They are rewards for self-care. We've talked about the science, how nitric oxide fuels blood flow, how massage retrains your vessels, how natural oils nourish the tissue and restore elasticity. We've explored the emotional side, the peace that comes from reconnecting with your body, the confidence that quietly returns when you realize you can influence your own health. And we've seen why doctors like myself now recommend this simple act as one of the most powerful, natural ways to maintain male vitality. But beyond all of that, what this truly comes down to is respect. Respect for the body that has carried you through decades of work, love, and challenge. Each time you perform this ritual, you're telling yourself something profoundly important. That your story isn't over, that your body still deserves care, and that you still have the power to shape your future. That kind of self-respect creates ripples. It improves your sleep, your mood, your relationships, and even your sense of purpose. Because when a man feels strong and balanced in his own skin, everything around him begins to change. His confidence grows, his presence deepens, his energy radiates. It's not vanity, it's vitality. And I want you to remember something very clearly. It's never too late to begin. Whether you're 55 or 85, your body still responds to kindness, to movement, to care. Your cells still heal, your blood still flows, and your heart still listens when you choose to nurture it. That's the beauty of being human, the capacity to renew at any age. So tonight, when the world gets quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, take 5 minutes for yourself. Warm the oil between your palms, breathe deeply, and begin. Don't rush, don't force. Just allow yourself to reconnect. Be with your body, your strength, your masculinity, and your peace. Because in that simple nightly act, you're not just improving blood flow, you're awakening something far more powerful. The unshakable truth that you are still, and will always be, a man full of life.